welcome to another episode of Ask the Expert. I'm Kayla McGowan, editor-in-chief, and today we are diving into something very exciting that I don't think we've ever covered before, and it's all about having an in-house developer and how it changes restoration technology. Our special guest today is Scott Gines, and he's the lead developer at JobSight. He brings over 40 years of experience in software development, and he has 15 years of experience in the restoration industry on the development side as well. And he successfully scaled Client Runner from 50 users to a CRM of 10,000 users. And he built JobSite from the ground up. So please welcome Scott.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Scott. I'm so excited. I've heard so much about you, and I really want to talk about this topic in particular because we see so many softwares and platforms coming out, and I think it's just really timely for people to understand the importance of having this type of role in-house, not just for speed to accuracy, but understanding your business and the industry as a whole. So, with that being said, I mentioned you have over 40 years of software development, holy smokes, and 15 in restoration industry. That's extremely crucial in your role. How did you see these two worlds coming together and find the success that you guys have had?
We originally started Client Runner back in around 2011. I've been in the sort of service space for even longer than that. I started working at a company called CoverStar doing automatic pool covers. And so I wrote kind of managed their business and internal processing. And from there, I moved on to Client Runner, which is still kind of in the same space. And when I started there, we were just a small company that just had a few customers on there. Jerry Pennock, who is the owner of JobSite, he was the owner of Client Runner at the same time as well. So he brought me in to kind of take it from a small little sort of business that ran his business into a full-fledged customer CRM system. So we worked and integrated a bunch of different things, made a bunch of different enhancements, and turned it into a full-featured platform that when we finally were finished there, we had over 700 companies using it with over 10,000 employees. We had massive growth in that space.
That's so interesting to hear how, and I think I've ran into several people who have like started something for their own business, and then it's like, wait, we could actually help an industry or multiple industries if we just, beef this up and scale it a little more, which is really cool
Mhm.
to hear. And I mean, like you said, it was the little engine that could, and now it's like a full forced, it's huge. It's a big deal now, and I think that's really important for people to understand that a lot of times things come from a smaller idea and they blossom and they become something that is so crucial for our industry. With that being said, I think there was a vision that you guys had behind, transforming Client Runner into the CRM that it is today. How did your guys' experience help shape JobSite, coming to life?
Yeah, so one of the things that we really tried to draw on from Client Runner, and one of the things that we got the most, I guess, kudos for was how simple it was to use. So Client Runner, we very much focused on simple yet powerful. That was our tagline, simple yet powerful. And so we really wanted to draw on that same experience where we said, we want to make a very powerful software, but also make sure that it's very simple for the end user to use. Jerry has a great line that he always says. He says, it's very easy to make hardware or software that's difficult to use. It's very hard to make software that's easy to use, that's very powerful. And so one of the things that we say here all the time is we can do hard things. We do hard things. So anytime that we can take the difficult thing on our end to make it easy for the customer, that's what we do. So we say we can do this thing that would be very difficult for the user to figure out and kind of do it, or we can transfer that and make it hard on our end. It takes a lot more time, a lot more planning, a lot more dedication on our side, but our end product is extremely user and powerful for the end user to use. So that's kind of what we drew on from that. And the lessons that we learned in Client Runner was that we just want to make sure that it's the easiest software, but yet maintain that powerful focus that allows the customer to be able to do everything they need to do to run their restoration company.
Yeah, and that's really important too, because I think a lot of times we see new software or platforms or just new fun things that come into the world and they're overly complicated and
Mm-hmm.
they fail because they're so complicated or the amount of time it takes to use said technology software platform, it's not worth the time where you could just do something manually, right? If you're able to do something manually faster, you're going to do it. And I love hearing like the process for you guys, right? Like, hey, it might be a little hard for us, or it might be a heavier lift on our end, but the outcome on the other end of the user side of things is going to be smoother, faster, seamless, whatever the case may be. Sometimes it is worth that thought process, right? I think on the developer side, you have a different mindset than the customer, right? Like the customers are going to come up with these like wild ideas like, "Oh, I want this, this, and this to happen. Can you make it happen?" And of course, everybody wants to say yes, right? You never want to tell your customers no. But I think with you guys, the unique side of things that you guys have is yes, we can do it. It's going to take time. I've heard that a lot of times, and that's okay.
Mhm.
Set realistic expectations, right? If you want this to work this specific way, it's going to take time on our end to work with our team and get it developed properly. And we have to test it, and then you will have the product that you're looking for, right? So, why is it so powerful and important to have a lead developer in-house and in office every day, especially when we're working in the contractor-driven industry?
Yeah, so one of the things that JobSite has that's kind of unique to the industry is that we have uh, employees here that I think we added up. We have over 100 total years in restoration experience. So we've got Lindsay that is very experienced in the administration side. So she's worked for restoration companies being an administrator. We've got Jerry that he's been on the technician side, and he knows a lot about how the technicians utilize the different things and the processes that they go through. We've got McKenna that's on the accounting side. She has so many years in accounting, doing restoration accounting. So by being in house, I can draw on all the experience of all those different people, and I can say, okay, we're doing this field operation, development thing. Jerry, how is this going to best work? And I can draw on him. I might have an idea of what I think might be the best. And then I'll bring it to him and he'll say, well, that might work, but here's how it really happens in the field. This is where theory translates into practice. And my theory on how it might work might not go really translate into practice. And Jerry will pull me in and we'll go back and forth and say, okay, in practice, this is what they're doing. So let's make the best product that we can do based on the practical experience rather than theoretical experience. And I think by being able to just be in house and have these conversations, we're constantly in each other's offices. Hey, what about this? What about this thing that I didn't think of? Or I ran into this roadblock. How can we get do this? If you're offshoring all that, your time zones are going to be 12 to 14 hours apart. So how do you really get those conversations back and forth? It's really, really difficult. We've tried it before. We've tried to outsource those things, and trying to get answers back and forth between the offshore people is just almost impossible, and your product suffers for it. So having it in-house is just worlds better. We're fluid. We can manage problems really quickly, and so I think those are the main benefits that we get from that.
Yeah, and I would definitely say too, because you have all these different aspects in under one roof, you guys are able to talk about things in a timely fashion, right? Even if you weren't outsourcing overseas, but maybe in another time zone or another state, you still have that delay period, right? So for example,
Mhm.
you're on Mountain Time, I'm on Pacific Time, but what about the people who are on Eastern Time? Right? What about people who are on Central Time? There is still a delay because sometimes it's like, oh, dang, I didn't hit them before they left the office, right? So now you're not only waiting for an answer, you're waiting for an answer till the next day. And so, for you guys being in one central location, you guys are able to set time aside. And if there's something that's really pressing, you're able to say, hey, let's stop what we're doing and let's meet and talk about these things. So that's really important. I think you brought up some really great points, not just overseas or just, contracting. I think it's beneficial to have your own in-house team. You're able to problem solve together efficiently and effectively. And also testing. I think testing is a really big part of development. And you want to be able to see how people are using it, right? To say like, oh no, this is how you use it, or oh wait, maybe we need to fix this step or whatever the case may be. So you guys have a very unique perspective, not just on the development side, but the testing side and the rollout side too, right? That's extremely important when we're working with contractors. And they're in the field every day, day in and day out. So I know you kind of talked about an example where, if you guys wanted to make something function a specific way, but can you share a specific example where being embedded in the team has led to a feature or a solution that wouldn't have happened otherwise?
Yeah, so featured like we have a roadmap of what we want to implement, and we are constantly going through that roadmap. So by being every other week, we have what we call a sprint planning meeting, and so the developers all get together with the product managers and the sales team, and they are taking feedback from all of our customers on the product and what features they would like to see next. And kind of to your earlier point, we have all kinds of requests that are coming in, like we want this special little feature for us, and sometimes we do have to say no. This feature might be great for this one company, but then if we implement that, it's going to make the software that much more complex, right? And so sometimes we have to say, for the sake of simplicity, your pet project is not going to make it into the cut, right? It's just going to make the product too complicated, and it's going to add, more functionality we really need. So we have been able to really curate what we believe is the best path forward for a lot of different features. So, like one of the things that we've had is our Xactimate integration. We have been able to really focus on that, and there's so many different pieces that go into an Xactimate integration, just because of the nature of the estimating software and everything like that. We are integrating with clean claims right now, and so like some of those integrations are crucial to have in-house representation, because they have our sales team and our administrative team, they have the relationships with these different partnerships. And so we have to lean on them to be able to come in and say, this is what they need for the integration, and this is how it's going to work, and this is how we make it easy to integrate. Lindsay and Lane, I believe you had them on before. They have the relationship and the partnership. So without those guys, I don't think we would have had that integration happen. And so really, those are kind of some of the things that in-house we've been able to manage. Uh, so yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say too, like to your point, there's so many moving pieces and some things just would not have happened or they would have taken longer to happen, right? And we need
Mhm.
these things now. So I think it's really crucial that, we utilize those partnerships or friendships or maybe focus on people's strengths, right? Like, hey, maybe, I know Lindsay's a great communicator and she's great at building partnerships. That's what she focuses on, right? Who can
Mhm.
we bring on and how can we help them and how can they help us? How can we advance the industry? And those are the things that help you guys continually evolve. So with that being said, technology, AI, all of those things are at the forefront. But if we're looking ahead, what's next for restoration technology and how is JobSite preparing for that?
Yeah, AI is a huge thing. We get a lot of requests for how does your software communicate or utilize UI, and we definitely do have some AI features in there, but that is a big focus that a lot of people are looking for. How can we utilize AI to better serve what the customers need? And there again, we need to run a balance between making it simple to use but powerful. And so we're looking at different avenues that we think that we can implement AI into our software. One of the big ones is we have a payment receipt capture and payables system in our software. So one of the things that you have to do right now is you get the PDF in, you have to look at that PDF to determine who that payable is for. So it might be Home Depot, right? Then you have to go into our software and say, okay, this was for Home Depot. Well, wouldn't it be cool if we could get AI to just run through that payable, see that it was Home Depot, look at the line items, automatically fill those out. You get the PDF, AI manages that, bam, you've got a payable ready to go. So that's one area that we're looking at utilizing AI to simplify the process and really save you guys a lot of time.
Yeah, that's really important too, because I think, with AI and just technology in general, everybody thinks it needs to be in everything. But I think to your point, keeping it simplistic, I always think of KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid is kind
Mm-hmm.
of like that's still a saying. It'll always be a saying. Um, if you utilize it for something that particular, it's not only is, gosh, a godsend at that point, but it also makes your job flow a lot easier. And really, if it's just used for something that simplistic, you don't have to worry about several breakdowns happening later, right? I think we've
Mhm.
seen AI can hallucinate. We've seen technology is not always reliable. I was on a Zoom call earlier and my camera went black and I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, can you see me? So I had to turn my camera off, turn it back on. Those are the types of things that, if we're keeping it simple, we alleviate those breakdowns, right? Like my camera situations because I did an update to my computer. So when we're doing things simplistically on software or technology, we alleviate the breakdowns, right? I think that's really important too, right? You could use AI all through JobSite. You could. Do you want to? Probably not, because then it's not simplistic anymore, right? And that human aspect's really not there. So I think everybody's leveraging AI. It's nice to hear how you guys would be leveraging it because it also alleviates a lot of administrative work. And I think that's what it really comes down to when we're talking to contractors in the field. They're spending a lot of time doing administrative duties when they really should be out in the field. So that's really, really crucial. Well, Scott, that's all I have today. Do you have anything else to add before we sign off?
Just it was a great to see you here. I think everybody should go check out JobSite. We've had amazing reactions to it for all the different CRMs that people looked at. They keep coming back to JobSite saying yours is the simplest. It's powerful. It's simple. It's great. So yeah, everybody take a look at it. And
Yeah, I would definitely say you guys have a really great team too. I love talking to all of you from Bree to Lindsay to yourself, Jerry, everybody in between. They're all a delight. And I'd really like to thank you for taking the time to talk to me about just who you are, what you do, and the importance of how having a developer in-house can be a game changer for those who are in the industry, not just on the development side, but those who are using things in the field. So as always, everybody, we will see you on the next episode of Ask the Expert. Take care.